Hi, I'm Clayton Aiken, a founder and the managing leader at Aiken Henderson CPAs. You may have seen over the last couple of days every liberal MP in the country patting themselves on the back with this self-congratulatory infographic stating that they're going to save small business owners $7,500 per year by reducing the small business tax rate to 9%. Mathematically speaking, a rate reduction of 1.5% times $500,000 does equal $7,500. I love facts, and I know you do too. So let's go through the facts of this rate reduction and see if our government's being completely honest with us. Budget 2015, Stephen Harper's Conservatives passed measures to lower the small business tax rate from 11 to 9% beginning in 2015, and with the 9% rate kicking in, you guessed it, 2019. The first rate reduction was in 2015 to 10.5%. The Liberals won a majority later that year, and in Budget 2016, they cancelled any further reductions to the small business tax rate. In February of 2016, Bill Morneau announced enhanced measures to the CPP, which would see small business owners paying additional CPP premiums starting in 2019 and ramping up until 2025. July 18th, 2017, Bill Morneau and the Department of Finance released what was to be one of the biggest tax reforms that this country's seen in over 40 years, directly targeted at private companies. Bill Morneau starts a listening tour where he goes across the country and apparently listens to small business owners, repeatedly telling them that this tax change will only affect the wealthiest of private companies, for example, those owned by doctors. Canada's tax community quickly established that the proposals were targeted at all private companies of all sizes and that the proposals were decidedly bad for business. Canadians naturally assumed that Bill Morneau had read his proposal package or that he had hired somebody well-versed in tax law to read it before they were released, and so they perceived that he didn't make a mistake when he released them. This perception led to Canadians believing that Bill Morneau thought that entrepreneurs were tax cheats and that the tax system had somehow been rigged for the last 40 years in favor of entrepreneurs over employees. The small business owners in Canada revolted, giving the 75-day consultation window the best run for its money that they could. Of particular note, the last time we had tax reform this major, it was consulted and thought about and researched and analyzed for several years, not 75 days. Turns out that fishermen and farmers and restaurateurs and corner store owners do not like being called tax cheats for following well-established laws that have been in place for several decades. And so right after the consultation period on October 16th, 2017, the Liberals announced that Stephen Harper's tax cut to 9% in 2019 was back on. Many saw this as a vain attempt to fend off the angry mob of Canadian small business owners. December 2017 is when the final changes were announced, which increased tax on things like tax on split income with spouses and other family members in privately held companies, as well as on corporate savings in small businesses. Budget 2018 passed all these measures into law, and accompanied with it and the small business rate reduction to 9% were increases in personal taxes, so that when dividends are paid out of these companies, there's actually no savings whatsoever on fully distributed income. In fact, if a small business owner pays out pre-2019 earnings via dividends, they're actually paying more in personal tax and corporate tax combined than they would have done only a year or two ago. So this is a tax increase, in fact, on fully distributed corporate earnings. January 1st, 2019, just a couple of days ago, the federal carbon tax kicks in, increasing the price of food, gasoline, home heating, electricity, business supplies, inventory, you name it, everything's going up. The enhanced CPP rate kicks in, which means the private company owners will be paying an extra $85 per employee per year in CPP premiums, and that number is going to ramp up. In 2025, it's expected that employers will be paying an extra $645 per employee per year into CPP premiums. I'm biased. I want my clients to save on their tax bills, and so an announcement like this would normally be very exciting to me. But to say that small business owners are going to save $7,500 $7,500 per year in 2019 is completely misleading. There is not one small business owner in Canada who's going to pay $7,500 less in overall tax in 2019 than they did in 2018. It's completely false. Please share this with as many small business owners as you can so that they're not misled by the Liberals' propaganda machine, which is completely out of hand and completely misleading. Thank you very much for watching.